Hello everyone, welcome to our phone discussion. Today's topic of discuss is how to bridge the educational gap between urban and rural areas. First and foremost, I would like to thank the four panelists for their presence. Currently, the disparity between urban and rural regions remains significant, encompassing differences in economy, education, and healthcare. This gap not only hinders the development of rural areas but also affects the harmony and the stability of society as a whole. Rural schools often lag significantly behind the urban schools in terms of teachers, teaching facilities, and the supply of teaching materials. So to solve this problem, the government and all sectors of society need to work together to achieve an equitable distribution of resources. About this phenomenon, in the 2019 actual Contacting Rural Schools to Quality Education, rural teachers' use of digital educational resources, published in Computers in Human Behavior. The Leiden University Graduate School of Teaching Cheng Xianwang notes recently scholars, educators, and the public have reached a consensus that high-quality knowledge should be freely, openly, and easily available to promote digital equity between regions, areas, and schools. Therefore, almost every country has made significant investments in the production of digital educational resources for teachers. Okay, today we will be two rounds. Round one, all panelists will discuss differences in educational resources, such as teachers, facilities, and the teaching materials between urban and rural areas. Round two, each panelist will be given specific questions about their specific topic. Now, let's move on to round one. First of all, we ask the first panelist, Li Ruolin, to give his thoughts.
Hello everyone, my name is Li Ruolin, and I'm the panelist one. We talk about the three aspects. The first aspect is teacher quality. The second is facility, and the third one is teaching materials. In terms of the difference between urban and rural teacher, the level of urban teacher is obviously higher than that of rural teacher. In China, high quality teachers are mostly concentrating economical, more developing area. No matter in terms of salary, convenience of life, families, condition, and other aspects, the city is better than the countryside, which also lead to the designation of the teacher. Therefore, high quality teachers are more uh, inclined to go to urban development and teaching. The second is facility. In terms of facility, urban infrastructure construction is obviously better than the rural infrastructure construction. As we all know, quality education infrastructure must be built on top of the good infrastructure in rural area. Priority is given to good living infrastructure rather than good education infrastructure. So, such as electronic backboard and high performance computer and so on. However, cities are different. Good living infrastructure has been certified, and there are conditions to develop a good education infrastructure. The last one is the teaching materials. In terms of teaching materials, most of the textbooks in rural area are older than the city. Well, those in urban areas are often the latest, and some of the textbook books are in line with international standard, such as English and other international subjects. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next, welcome the second panelist, Hu Yiyuan.
Hello everyone, I am playlist to Hu Yiyun. I have for the round one, I have three aspects. The first is the teacher quality, and the second is the educational facilities, and the last one is the availability of teaching materials, and the fourth and the third. For the teacher quality, I think urban areas can usually attract more teachers with high education and professional training background. Urban schools tend to provide high salaries and more career development opportunities, which attracts more excellent teachers. Rural areas are facing a shortage of teachers. And the second is educational facilities. Urban school facilities are usually more modern, which provide a better learning environment and contribute to the development of students in many aspects. The facilities of rural schools are often relatively backward. Many schools face all the facilities which limits students' learning and practice opportunities. And the last one, availability of teaching materials and resources. Teacher schools in urban areas usually have access to richer educational resources, which not only enrich the curriculum content, but also enhance the interactivity and modernity of teaching. Rural areas face difficulties in obtaining teacher materials. Books and materials are often not updated in time. Lack of sufficient book resource and materials are limited. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you. The third panelist, Li Shan, what about your thoughts?
Hello everyone, my name is Li Shan. Let me share my opinion. First, teacher resource. With limited development opportunities, lower salaries, and isolation from urban center, rural areas have difficulty attracting and retaining good teachers. Second, facilities. Rural schools often lack adequate facility and infrastructure, including technical resource, model classroom which can handle the learning environment and limit students' educational. Third, teaching materials. Urban schools often have access to a wider range of teach materials, textbook, and teaching knowledge resource. Rural schools may have limited access to the last teaching materials, we can affect the quality of teaching and the learning experience of students. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Finally, let's ask the panelist for Wang Haochen.
Okay, I'm the panelist 4. I will discuss difference in educational resources between urban and rural areas according to some resources. The NCES 2018 report, Revenues and Expenditures for Public Elementary and Secondary Education, highlights significant disparities in education quality between urban and rural areas in the U.S. The report provides detailed data on the revenue, sources, and expenditure for public schools, illustrating how funding variations contribute to the gap in educational resources and outcomes. Urban school districts generally receive higher per pupil funding compared to the rural counterparts. This disparity is due to several factors, including differences in local property taxes, state funding formulas, and the availability for federal funds. Urban areas often have a large tax base, enabling them to generate more revenue locally. Additionally, urban schools may benefit more from federal programs aimed at stress issues like poverty and English language learning. Two report notes that character expenditure per pupil were higher and in urban districts compared to the rural districts. These differences in funding translates into varied educational expenses, with urban schools being able to afford more advanced instructional materials. better facilities and a wider range of extracurricular activities. In contrast, rural schools often struggle with outdated infrastructure, limited course offering, and challenges in attracting and retaining qualified teachers. To address these gaps, it is essential to consider policy measures that ensure more equitable distribution of resources. This includes re-elevating state funding formulas to account for the unique challenges faced by rural schools and increasing digital foreign support to in the education quality. So that's all about my ideas.
Okay, all members discussed the gap between urban and rural education resources from different perspectives in round one. And everyone expressed their thoughts, and now we will start the discussion in round two. And each panelist will have a question for their own. First, let's welcome the panelist one, Li Ruolin. What policies or measures are effective in improving the infrastructure and the teaching resources of rural schools?
Okay. Thank you for your question. And I think there's I have three aspects to discuss it. The first aspect I think is rural teacher salary and the subsidies can be increased. Let's talk about this. Originally the salary of rural teacher is generally low, so it is difficult to attract enough high quality teachers by raising the salary level of rural teachers or launch the relevant programs. A large number of the high quality teacher can be attracted. The second aspect, I think that the government should give priorities to rural education by investing in building a good capsule environmental in rural area and launching the teachers transfer program for teaching. The third one, I think, cooperation between government agencies, NOGS, and private organization and local communities is essential to the role reality of the collective impact on rural education. They should strengthen cooperations and make joint efforts to build a good rural education environment. Thank you.
Okay, next, welcome the panelist two, Hu Yiyuan. Your question is, how can the professional skills and the teaching quality of rural schools be improved?
Alright, for the question, I think for the professional development plans, providing professional development plans tailored to the specific needs of rural teachers can help improve their teaching skills, update their understanding of best practice, and improve their teaching strategies. The other one is teacher guidance, implement guidance and rural programs for rural teachers and providing guidance, support and feedback from experienced educators, which can help improve their professional skills, cultivate a culture of continuous learning, and promote cooperation between teachers. And the last is cooperation with partners. Cooperate with external partners such as universities, educational institutions, and community stakeholders to provide training, seminars, and resources for rural teachers, which will help broaden their professional skills, introducing innovative teaching practice, and enhance their ability as educators. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you for reply. Panelist three, Li Shan, your question is, how can modern technologies such as the internet digital learning tools help reduce the gap between urban and rural education.
Okay, thank you. Your question. Access to educational resource. The internet and digital learning tools can provide rural schools with a wide range of educational resources, including online textbook, virtual library, and educational video and interactive learning platforms that help enhance student learning. Uh, Distance learning and virtual classroom. Digital technology can provide rural students with distance learning and virtual classrooms so that they can obtain high-quality education, interact with teachers and classmates no matter where they are. Third, collaborative learning and networking. The internet and the digital tools can provide collaborative learning and communication opportunities for students and teachers in rural areas, enabling them to communicate with experts from all over the world. Okay. That's all.
Thank you. Panelist for Wang Haochen, your question is what policies are currently working to close the gap between urban and rural education? How effective are these policies?
I will discuss some policies and effective. According to some reports, the Learning Policy Institute's 2020 report, Community Schools and Evidence-Based Strategies for Equitable School Improvement, highlights several policies aimed at reducing the education quality gap between urban and rural areas. The core strategies involves implementing community schools, which integrate academics, health and social services, youth and communication development, and communicate engagement. This holistic approach is designed to address the multifaceted barriers that students in high poverty areas face. Can policies that help bridge the urban-rural education gap include integrated student supports. Community schools provide wrap-around services such as healthcare, mental health service, and social support, which are crucial for addressing out-of-school barriers to learning. These supports help ensure that students are healthy and ready to learn, which is particularly important in under-resourced rural areas. Family and community engagement. Effective community schools foster strong relationships with families and local communities, ensure that educational strategies are aligned with the community's needs and assigns. The collaborative approach helps create a supportive learning environment and can be particularly beneficial in rural areas where schools often serve as central community hubs. The effectiveness of these policies is supported by extensive research. For instance, the report reviewed 143 studies and found strong evidence that well-implemented community schools improve students' outcomes, including academic achievements, attendance, and behavior. This user communicate schools as evidence-based intervention is conducted under the Every Student Succeeds Act, which mandate the use of proven strategies to support low-performing schools. Overall, community schools represent a promising strategy for reducing educational disparities by providing comprehensive support tailored to the educational needs to our urban and rural communities. So that's all about my policies and effectiveness. Thank you.
Thank you for replying. And next, about the summary, our panelists, including the moderator, believe that the core of shortening the gap between urban and rural education lies in balancing resources allocation. improving the quality of teachers, improving infrastructure, and making full use of modern technologies, such as digital learning platforms, to ensure that students in rural areas can also enjoy high-quality educational resources. At the same time, the governments and policy supply and the active participation of community and families are also indispensable. Through these comprehensive measures, we can provide fair educational opportunities for children, promote educational equity, and finally achieve the balanced development of urban and rural education. This concludes today's discussion, and thank you again for coming. Thanks our panelists